is a beautiful thing. Challenge is what life is about. A life without challenge, a life without pain, is a life without growth. And where there is no growth, there's stale, stagnant energy. And that's where most people live. Because most people's lives are designed around treading a path that is void of challenge. The minute they recognize challenge or pain, they move the other way. This is a primal instinct and normal and natural, but a weak perspective. Most people are bored if you ask them, what do you think about your life? Same old. Every single day, what's the thing? Same day, same shit, different day. Things of this nature. That's because they're living their lives in a lie that is shrouded in comfort. It doesn't exist. They're not challenged, they're not growing, they're bored, and they're better off dead. Your aliveness is found in your pain. Embrace it, love it, and grow from it.
Now, I know that I personally have experienced quite a bit of disappointment in my life, and I'm assuming that you have as well. And guess what? We're going to continue to be disappointed throughout our lives. At least we should be, because if you're not, that means that you're really not trying. Now, how you handle yourself post-disappointment, this is critical to your emotional and mental well-being. Pain, hurting, right? It's part of the growing process. But I'll tell you something, life has a funny way of closing doors in order to keep you moving in the right direction, all right? So often in our society and as people, we run from pain. We do everything we can to protect ourselves and to shield ourselves from feeling uncomfortable with that feeling of pain. And this is the reason why so many people abuse drugs, alcohol, casual sex. We do this to not feel the pain, but I'm saying stop running. Stop trying to mask it, all right? When you feel pain, disappointment, it's okay. Don't try and cover it up. What you should do is actually embrace it. I know it's easy for me sitting here saying, oh, embrace the pain. You're feeling like crap. Don't worry about it. Feel it. Feel it. I get it, right? That's kind of a long shot. But what I'm saying is that the pain is normal, it's natural, it's a part of the growth process. Learn from it. Once you do, you accept it, you embrace it, learn from it, put it in its place, you're going to be able to move forward stronger, faster, smarter. If you're not struggling and getting disappointed from time to time, this probably means that you're not really pushing your limits too far. All right? It's okay. Embrace it, don't get discouraged, and stay focused.
Have you ever wished I would have gotten this day started different than what I did? You know, don't ever waste a day. I want you think about time differently as you get older. I think when you're in your 20s and maybe even 30s and maybe even 40s, you don't think too much about time. But a few years ago, it occurred to me that 2/3 of my life was over. And I just became much more aware of time and how foolish it is to waste any day that you have. You know, there's something really interesting about time. We all get the same amount in a day. Every day is 24 hours. And some people are very, very fruitful and effective, and some people just waste their time day after day after day. And that's a choice that we make. But there's one thing about time, once it goes by, you never get it back. So how tragic it is to waste any day of your life.
Little victories add up, and that is what gives you then ultimately confidence. I tell you another example just quickly, because it's something totally different. Public speaking. I would have been scared to do what Reg Park did. He always, after he posed, he went to the microphone and says, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this great applause, and it's wonderful to be back in Leeds, England. Is my hometown, blah, 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 and he kept on going on for 15 minutes. And I'm looking at this and I said to myself, he didn't have a piece of paper in front of him. How could he speak like that for 15 minutes? And so I said to him afterwards, I said, I'm in awe that you can speak like that. And you know, and you're scared when you go out there. There was like 2,000 people out there. And he said to me, no, not at all. And he all of a sudden connected. And the next day when we did another posing exhibition in Newcastle, he had me come out. He says, oh, before I leave, I just want to bring out again my my very, very good friend here and training partner now, Arnold Schwarzenegger, is 19 years old. Come and welcome him with a big applause. And they all were applauding, so I had no choice. I'm not standing backstage, right? Because I just watched him pose, and I'm watching everything that Reg Park does because I'm emulating him and I want to copy everything that he does. Well, all of a sudden I had to go out. And then he put the microphone in front of me and he said to me, he says, so tell them, that you like, Newcastle. And I said to him, he said, yeah, talk, you can talk. Say, I like Newcastle. And I said, I like Newcastle. And they all applauded. Imagine just this little few lines and they all applauded. So then he says, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And as I was out there and he was feeding me lines, I started feeling more confident. And then all of a sudden I realized that there was no one out there trying to kill me because I'm speaking. But in fact, it is a bigger fear factor for people to speak publicly than anything else. So here's an example, little things, incremental things of him feeding me lines and stuff like that. A year later, 2 years later, it got bigger, the speeches got bigger, and I started feeling comfortable being in front of a microphone, and the rest is history. I never was scared again doing public speaking or anything else because of those moments.